Finders, welcome. I'm excited to be back this week. And this week I want us to look at, one of the topics that I'm very passionate about because it's a misconception that a lot of people have out there in the marketplace. Oftentimes when you want to start a new venture, one of the advice you get is go and get a business plan. Okay, and oftentimes what I find out is that business plan or business planning is a bad idea, okay, for a new venture. I've had an experience when one of my lady clients came to me and he wanted me to do a business plan for her. Okay, and she was ready to pay, hundreds of thousands of naira for me to do a business plan for her. One of the things I found interesting is the fact that, okay, she wants somebody else outside her business, to write a business plan for her. And secondly, in trying to make her understand that what she needs is not a business plan and why a business plan is not necessary for a new venture was very difficult for me to convince her that that's not what she needed at that point in time. So today I'm going to be looking at why a business plan or business planning is a bad idea, okay, for a new venture. And let's even start with taking the name business plan. Okay, by business plan, it means that you already have a business that you are planning for. But for a new venture, you are yet to have a business. Okay, you are trying to bring an idea ready to the market. You are trying to ideate a product. You are trying to come up with a value proposition. Okay, at this point, you are yet to have a business. So when you say that you are developing a business plan, when you are yet to have a business, oftentimes you are going to waste your time, waste your effort, waste your money in trying to come up with a business plan. So you find out that at the point where you are trying to start your new venture, you start from an opportunity you perceive in the market. You need to test that the opportunity is fine. Opportunity is what in the market actually wants. For you to come up with a value proposition that addresses the needs that you identify in the market. At this point, what you're actually doing is product or service development. And at that point, you don't have a business yet. You may have a product, but you are yet to have a business. If you have watched our previous video, we have said that your opportunities is not a business. Opportunity you identify in the marketplace is not a business. The product you came up with is not a business. Okay, your value proposition is not even the business. Your business is at the point where you come up with a business model or how you create that value, how you deliver that value to the marketplace, your customer segment, and how you capture value from the marketplace. That's what your business is all about. So you find out that at the point of new venture development, you are trying to come up with a product in the market that the market wants. So you don't yet have a business, so a business plan will not work for you. Okay? The second reason why a business plan will not work for a new venture is the fact that business plans are great execution documents. However, okay, it is only a great execution document in an environment that is known and that has sufficient certainty, where you are sure of everything that is going to happen. However, when it comes to new venture, okay, new venture are built under conditions of high uncertainty. You are not sure of anything. You don't know what is going to happen. You don't know what your customer wants. You don't know what they will like. You are just trying to test and be sure and learn what they want. So therefore, what is more important when it comes to new venture development is systematically testing your ideas to know what works, what the customer wants, what does not work. Okay, this is a far better approach than writing a business plan when you're trying to come up with a new venture. I hope we're making point. The third reason why, okay, business plan is not, the best, the bad idea for new venture is the fact that one of the reasons majority of people give for writing a business plan when they're trying to start a new venture is the fact that business plan minimizes risk. Okay, but when it comes to new venture, what I found out is that business plan actually maximizes your risk because you have assumed a lot of things that are not correct, and you don't have opportunity, to test them out because those things, have been marked in your business plan and it's looking robust, it's looking for everything, is looking rosy, and you are running on a plan, okay, that is not tested, on a plan, okay, that is not based on insight from the market, but from assumption that you have made over time. So that's why, okay, for every new venture, what is more important is experimentation. You experiment to learn so that you can adapt to what the market actually wants. You experiment to manage the changes that you find out in the course of iteration and experimentation so that you can progressively reduce the risk and your sanctity of creating a new venture. Okay, so this process is known as customer development, as we looked at last week, and lean startup. So in our 5-phase value thinker business building model, what we have come up with is a discover phase where you discover an opportunity, the start phase, which is actually the lean startup, when you start with the minimum viable product in terms of effort and resources, and try and experiment and get feedback in the market and be sure that you're developing and bringing something to the market that the market actually wants. So I want to show you now why I think that experimentation is superior to business planning when it comes to a new venture. So let's look at one or two things, okay, and we close it for the day. The first thing is the attitude of the person that is doing a business plan and the attitude of the guy, that is trying to do an experiment or using experimentation in developing their new venture. The attitude for the business planner is the assumption that they know about the market. So they have all the information about the market. So they are planning based on the information they think they know. Okay? But the attitude of the guy that is experimenting, okay, is the right attitude, and is the fact that the information does not reside with you, the business planner. It resides with your customers. It resides, okay, with your partners. So the guy that is doing experimentation acknowledge the truth that the information about the market is in the marketplace. So he goes out there to find out what the market actually wants and get feedback for the market so that he can come up with a value proposition that actually matches what the market wants. The second thing we want to look at is that where does business planning happens, where the experimentation happens. Because of the attitude that we know, you find out that when it comes to business planning, it happens inside the business building. They don't want to go out because they believe they have the understanding that they have the information. But when it comes to experimentation, you recognize that the information is outside. So you actually go outside the building to learn the market, to meet with the customers, to develop with your customers. At the end of the day, you are creating something that the customers actually want. Okay? The next thing we're going to look at is what's the focus of business planning. What's the focus, okay, of experimentation? The focus of business planning is to come up with a business plan. You just want a plan to run, okay? Whether you are running on the right direction, whether you are running based on the first best information, that's not it. Business plan suppose that all the informations are right. But the focus of experimentation is to experiment and learn, okay? So you want to learn the market. There's nothing as good as, okay, going to a market that you understand their language, you understand their pain, you understand the benefit they want to get, and you are bringing values, okay, that meet this need. There's nothing that will cause you to succeed more than knowing your customer needs and be able to bring value that actually meet those needs, okay? So again, what are the decision bases for a business planner and the guy that does experimentation, okay? So the guy that does business planning, he's, decision bases are based on historic past, okay, historic facts, okay, from the past, from past successes. So he rely on data of yesterday, data from the past, okay. But the challenge with that is that the business environment changes all the time. Yesterday data may not be relevant for today, it may not even be relevant for tomorrow, okay. But for the guy that's involved in experimentation, okay, the decision is based on insight, okay, from experiment. So you have real insight, okay, from actually going out to carry out the experiment, okay. What about attitude to failure? For a business planning, in fact, you avoid failure entirely, okay, because your plan assumes that you are going to succeed, okay. But of a guy that's involved in experimentation, he embraces failure, okay, as a means to do what? To learn and improve, okay. So you are learning, you are improving. Oftentimes, in the process of ideation, you find out that the idea you start with is not what you end up with. In fact, oftentimes you find out that that idea is not even viable. So what do? Sometimes you kill it and you pivot, okay? But for a business plan, you assume that you're going to succeed and you just hit the road on the wrong path, assuming that you're on the wrong path. Before you realize it, what you find out that you have gone too far in investment of your effort, investment of your resources, investment of your time, At this time, it's difficult to cut the loss and say, no, this will not succeed. But now you are so involved that you are trying to look for, by all means, a way, to make it work. How does this relate to uncertainty? When it comes to business planning, you find out that all the uncertainty out there in the market is masked and hidden in the business plan. Okay, but when it comes to experimentation, you acknowledge the uncertainty, okay? You reduce it via experiment, especially low-cost experiment. So when you carry out low-cost experiment, you're able to, identify the uncertainty, reduce the risk, the uncertainty, and be able to make informed decision, okay? So what do you base your numbers on when it comes to business planning and when it comes to, experimentation? When it comes to business planning, your numbers are based on assumption, and these assumptions are never tested. But when it comes to experimentation, your numbers are based on assumptions that are tested. So you have evidence-based number that you can use for your projection, for your decision making, okay? And this is why I find out that, okay, business planning or business plan is a wrong idea, okay, for new venture. I hope this was valuable to you. Find this valuable. If you do, please, I want you to encourage us by sharing it within your network. And I also want to let you know that if you are yet to subscribe, okay, to our YouTube channel, be among the first set of people, that gets our video when we release them. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for your time, and do have a great week.